Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel once again. It's a beautiful Saturday, and also I celebrate all Muslims out there. As usual, we're going to be analyzing the pairs we looked at last week and then checking how they played out and then how they didn't play out, if they played out or not. As usual, we're going to be looking at Gbp Jpy, Euro CHF, and then the last one, Euro USD. So let's start with Euro CHF first of all, since that's what we have first on the lists. Yeah, Euro CHF, I think 2 weeks ago, we drew out our supply zones and then looked for opportunities to go short. I was happy some people took advantage of these sales, and then since then, market has been dropping drastically. I think someone sent this trade to me and it took a lot of profit from this trade. So it's very, very nice. Very, very nice. Remember, I don't trade these pairs, but I always help you to get the best from these setups I always give. That's why I always explain the entry and where price might be heading. We're all here to react, not predict, because we definitely don't know what the market is going to present in the next few days. So we just want to react according to what we are seeing on the chart and not predict over the long term. So as usual, so those of my students that know, I trade USD JPY. Took some beautiful profits. I think I closed around 90 pips. Yes, 90 pips on Tuesday. BTC USD. Didn't get any trade. Yeah, could have gotten a trade here, but my broker manipulated me, maybe with the spread. I don't know. Probably because it was still 7 a.m. in the morning. The spread was still very wide, so I got stopped out, and then it went to profits. But as usual, that is not a problem to me, since I know my trades. I'll definitely get another setup. And the last pair is Gbp USD that I trade. So far there is no setup on Gbp USD for me, but I sent a buy setup here to my students and it's played out nicely. So though I didn't take the trade because on Friday I'm just automatically lazy. I want to check if this is recorded. Okay, on Fridays I'm kind of automatically lazy. There was entry there, but I didn't enter. I didn't enter because I just felt lazy to enter the chart. So on Friday, it's just a automatic -1 for me to trade. But nonetheless, we're not here for that. Let's go into our pairs Euro CHF. Yeah, last week I was expecting a tap into this demand zone, since it gave us a change of character, waiting for it to give us another break of structure like this, and then we'll confirm that this trend is what's bullish. But it didn't tap into this zone to give us a break of structure, so definitely I wasn't expecting, as you can see, then the trend is still very, very bearish. Okay, now we're trying to repeat the same thing again, change of character and the like. So let's first reverse into the video where I stopped last week. Let's reference it. Let's reference the video. Yeah, I think that was what I was expecting, because there was liquidity here, there was liquidity grab here, so I was expecting this demand zone to hold, but it didn't hold. All points down to the entry. You shouldn't be setting instant spending orders here because you have all this confluence. Your entry confirmation is very, very important, and nonetheless, it's just a change of character, not a break of structure and movements according to the other flow. Adding you got some stuffs like this, multiple break of structures, then you can go ahead with what's a instant spending order. But for now, it's the beginning of the trend, so you don't want to set an instant spending order because you might get burnt. You understand? So at least you should have gotten a break of structure, multiple break of structures, and then you can start setting your instant spending order. So those are some ways to filter out trades and stop taking unnecessary losses. Yeah. On the weekly time frame, you can see now it's very, very bearish, very, very bearish. Remember, on the weekly time frame, we started from this supply zone, and then since then it has been dropping crazily. So I think I made mention of a demand zone over here. Yes, it is demand zone over there. Let's see the market reaction. Now market is reacting nicely to that demand zone. If market should break this demand zone, which it has done on the daily, but I'm expecting the weekly to break it, though the daily has broken it. So what does that mean? First, let's see where the daily demand zone is, exactly on that block. Please be fast. Or have I passed it? Yeah, zone. Yeah, so this is this demand zone, refined daily demand zone. So what do we have? Market has broken out from the demand zone nicely. That means a break of structure, right? So it means market can come to this supply zone to look for selling opportunities since we are aggressively bearish. Now let's move into the 4-hour time frame. Then we can refine our daily supply zone. This is a supply zone. If I called it a demand zone earlier, that was a mistake. Supply zone. Yeah. So then we can jump into the 1-hour time frame now to see a clearer and bigger picture. Okay. This supply zone got mitigated nicely. Then came back to mitigate it again and then dropped off. But nonetheless, there was no break of structure here. There was no break of structure like this to confirm this supply zone over here. You understand? So I think that's what I'm expecting on Euro CHF. That was what I was expecting, but since we didn't get a break of structure to the downside to mitigate this demand zone and then give us another break of structure to the upside, nothing reasonable was here, and then it was just ranging. As you can see, it was just ranging, and it wouldn't be reasonable to what to take any trade inside this range until we get a break of structure confirmation here to buy, to go long, or it breaks structure like this to the downside, and then we look for confirmations to sell, right? So this is what we have now. We have this multiple, we have this break of structure here. So let me delete, first of all, let me delete all these labelings. So yes, I'll do that. And then now I would, where's my tool? I will give you a break of structure over here, break of structure below, and then there's another break of structure here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I have another break of structure. So that's why I said multiple break of structures, right? And then looking at this point here, we have imbalance, right? Nice, clean imbalance. It looks like market is going to fill this imbalance, and then where's my imbalance? That is my imbalance. So imbalance over here, as the market reacts, markets might just come into this supply zone. Yes, definitely what we're expecting. And sometimes markets can just feel the imbalance a little bit and then start selling off. And then what do we do if market does this? What can we do? The best thing to do here is, first of all, if markets mitigate into this half of this imbalance, sorry, I want to give us a break of structure like this, mitigate half of this imbalance, probably like that, and then gives us a break of structure, and we can then look for supply zones of so we can look for entry of the supply zones that caused the break of structure after mitigating our imbalance. Okay, so some traders will say, let's give that a break of structure. Let's label everything so everything can be clear. Now, some traders will say, if it didn't mitigate this supply zone that we're looking at, can we call this an inducement? Yes, it is an inducement. But what is the definition of inducement? Now, let's go back. Inducement means when it is faking sellers or buyers to enter into a trend prior the initial move, right? Prior the original move, rather, not the initial. Inducement is the initial, and the real mitigation is the original move. So let's delete that. Okay, sorry for the break. Yes, where did I stop? I was looking at this imbalance, right? And then I said, some people might say, is this not an inducement? And I was explaining inducement, that inducement is a fake move, just to lure the sellers and then go back to the supply zone or the initial zone that we want to sell exactly from. Now, how can we avoid fake move here? What if it's going to be a fake sell, and then spike up, right? Now, if it is going to be a fake sell, the sell should not, first of all, it will not give us a break of structure. And then secondly, it wouldn't even give us entry on our supply zone to that extent. you know, of now giving us an entry, giving us a break of structure, and then coming to mitigate, and then giving us an entry, and then selling off. No, it wouldn't do that. It will induce. What does inducement mean? It will induce, like, to fake people. It will sell so sharply that it won't even give you the opportunity to confirm that it wants to sell. It only wants you to rush inside the sales, right? And then just definitely limit doesn't go down this way. You know, just give you the let me delete that. Yes, so inducements will give you time to sell. It might just come a little bit and then go up. So inducements will give you break of structure, and then inducements will even give you entry as the supply zone that we are looking to work with. Okay, so am I clear about that? So in case market wants to mitigate this imbalance and then go, it will give you a break of structure, and then inside your supply zone where the break of structure came from, we are definitely going to get a smaller entry, either WYCKOFF, whatever, inside this place. You understand? So if it was an inducement will give you enough time to sell. You understand? It wants to rush sellers and go back up. Understand? So then if you get your sales here, definitely, and you can now come back here, yes, towards to sell. But most of the time, some people might ask, will I take a trade here? Most of the time, I don't take trades halfway like this, maybe probably break of structure and the likes. I only take trades, you know, off a point of interest and so on. But there are some times that I take counter trend trades, you understand? But I won't go deep into that. I won't go deep into that for the sake of this video because I think we are going too far now. So induce imbalance, and this is general zone we're expecting, right? General supply zone. And then if you look at this zone on the Fibonacci, it's a very good zone. It should be around 100% and 78%. Yeah, 78%. You can see is in between 100% and 78%. So it's a very good is it discount or premium now, right? You want to sell high, so it is a premium level. Yeah, premium is something that is high. Understand? Discount means something that is low. So you want to buy discounted, sell the premium. Okay. So what do we have here? What is the inner structure that is happening here that we can take advantage of? So far, if my replay tool was here, I would have used this zone as a demand zone beautifully well, because it's caused a change of character here. I don't know why that trend line disappeared to that point. We have a change of character here and then give us a mitigation, but it didn't give us a break of structure. You understand? It didn't break this high. It must remember higher lows and higher highs, right? The new high must break a previous high. This is the previous high to give us a new high. Retests or almost retests and break the previous high again to give us a new high. Break the previous high to give us what? A new high. It is just the same simple concept. Higher low, higher high, lower high, lower low. So when we want to enter for buying, so it must what? Break the previous high, which was this. You can also say wait for a break of structure, whatever. So it's not all about smart money concepts. All these retail analogies still works. So we are waiting for a break of structure above, or you can call this was a higher high. You understand? So that's why I didn't really go deep into institutional trading, like all these fair value gap, inducements, and the like. So I just follow structure. I follow structure, and then supply and demand. That is all. And then break of structure and the likes, but not so deep and conk. You understand? You understand what I'm talking about? Just simple terms, simplicity, break of structure, demand zone, supply zone, imbalance. That is all. And then the trend structure. So now we've broken multiple structures here, broken another structure here. So this is the demand zone that caused the break of structure. But I doubt this demand zone hold. For me to get a demand zone here, I would definitely look for an entry, right? I would look for an entry, because this one has looking like it has passed a change of character now to the upside. So it wants to change trend, true, but still have a supply zone over here that we can work with. So for me, I don't like this demand, honestly. I really don't like this demand zone. Only if it can tap into this demand zone and then break whichever high that will be here, which will be this high, you understand? But that's going to be very far. That's why I said I don't like this demand zone. So let me delete this. Though let's just draw it out. It might hold, it might not hold. We don't know. but still the same thing again. Liquidity grab over here. Yeah, liquidity grab to the upside. So it's a good zone. Liquidity below, a good zone. But remember, on the daily, it broke the daily zone and then tried to mitigate the daily. Remember, this is a daily supply zone, right? I think it's from here, and then we'll find it up to here. That is what we have. I'm still short on Euro CHF. Yeah, I think that's a very detailed analysis on Euro CHF. Let's go to the next one, Euro USD. So Euro USD, almost the same analysis last week. We stopped here, waiting for a change of character, and then same thing, waiting for another break of structure, but that didn't happen. And then I remember saying, if we get a break of structure below this zone, then we should use this zone as our as our supply zone. But looking at this, there was still a break of structure here, but not a major break of structure, like just a little. And see now it's broke that zone. Break of structure below. Yeah, so first of all, let me go back to that video for reference. And I think, okay, just like I explained on Euro CHF. So they look almost as that with zones for net. So if none of these the break of structure during the week, then this will be my supply zone. Yeah, just like I said, if we get a break of structure here during the week, and then I'll take this zone as my supply zone. You can see it's played out nicely, but nonetheless, we still add a break of structure here, not the major break of structure, because the overall break of structure I was looking for was to break this structure, but it didn't break that structure before coming back to mitigate this zone. And then if you're the type that uses all these kind of break of structures, you could have gotten a sell confirmation there sharply, right? So let's go to the which time frame should we use for entry. Let's use 3 minutes. Okay, so yeah, that's the zone. Sorry, I don't have my replay tool over here. Enter the supply zone, right? And so let's check. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for another break of structure to happen, and then we can look for our entries, right? So we got a break of structure here. Clean break of structure below, and then that's our supply zone, right? Yeah, over there, that's the supply zone. So we got our entry there. Yeah, I've gotten an entry there. Stop loss will be above, and okay, we got another break of structure again. For those that like waiting for 2 break of structure, then you can call this change of character, right? Yeah, so let's see if this second entry would also work out over there, and then the stop loss would be definitely above. So stuff like that. Okay, don't let me use 2. So okay, the stop loss would have gotten it, but this first entry will still be, intact. You understand? So that is just declare entry, right? Change of character for those that like using change of character. But for me, I definitely don't use change of character because the entry would have been too late. You understand? So for those that know me well, I don't use change of character entry. I use just the single entry, but I don't use smaller time frames. I use bigger time frames for my entry. And then sometimes probably if I get WYCKOFF entry and the likes, then I can use 3 minutes, I can use 1 minute, then I can use 5 minutes, depending on whichever entry I'm getting. So the second entry didn't work, but the first entry worked out perfectly fine. So it dropped to that point. Yeah. And since then, it has been dropping crazily. Right? It has been dropping crazily. So I'm still very bearish on this also. Let's go to the weekly time frame again. In fact, it's just going to keep dropping. But let's hope for a little retracement and then they drop back again. Just like Euro CHF. Then 4-hour time frame. I have a supply zone here, right? But I don't think markets will drop, mitigate this. So let's enter the 1-hour time frame and see what we have. Let's work with what we have. Yeah, Euro USD. Yeah, this is the only beautiful thing I have on Euro USD right now. So let me draw my tool. So then we can come back to this next week. Okay, this is what I'm expecting, and then this zone soon, right? And nonetheless, after a break of structure here, then you can look for what buying opportunities at least into this supply zone. And then if you hold your buys and breaks out, nice. But if you get confirmations for sales, then you can continue with the sales. Okay, so these are my two zones I'm looking for, but you can look for buys along the way up. I think that's all on Euro USD. Let me go back to Euro CHF to draw what I'm expecting. I'm not saying this demand zone hold, but you have to wait for more confirmations for that. And then the sales, and then for the sales, I'm expecting that zone to hold. Right? But remember what I said, the price action inside here. Let me draw it back. Yeah, so along the line, it might mitigate just the half of this imbalance and then start dropping. Nonetheless, it doesn't mean this supply zone is not valid. No, it's still very valid. Just created, more liquidity below the supply zone. Now, last but not the least, on currency pairs, we have GBP Jpy. So GBP Jpy last week. Now, if you don't have if you haven't watched the video of last week, I'm going to drop it at the top right corner or the top left corner. You are going to see it. So make sure you watch it. I was expecting a pullback here or a mitigation, and then I was expecting this supply zone to get it, or this supply zone, right? This supply zone here. Yes, this supply zone. But you can see the supply zone got mitigated nicely, and then the initial second supply zone also got mitigated. So in fact, if you entered this, if you followed my analysis, you'll be in good, reasonable profits. So let's go back and reference that. I love okay, all the demand zones, all the supply zones, as you can see. So let's quickly go back to the videos to reference them, and even the market zone, and then yeah, is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting we had supply zones which will it's sold. I won't be looking at this big data. So let's go into the 5 here. Is broadly see. You can start right. That might take some buys. Was it Euro CHF or Euro USD? It was very, very sluggish. That I was trying to explain over here on Euro USD back and go for it. Because it was one zone or any demand. So let's get here is from what am I expecting on GBP Jpy for next week. You can see the bears are very, very slow. So that means the market is not so bearish. So I'll be expecting a breakout from here. I don't really have anything here, but now that we have the BS coming in place, I have my supply zone over there, and I have a new supply zone over here also. Yeah. So that was it on GBP Jpy. I had my supply zone over here. Bears were coming in, and then this was the next supply zone, right? So if this one didn't get mitigated, this one will definitely get mitigated, and then you can see the beautiful drop it gave. So let me see if there was a 3-minute entry or 1-minute entry here. I think it was okay. Okay, it was here. As you can see, you've even seen it all already. There was a break of structure here. Got mitigated beautifully well. And there was another break of structure here also. And then the second entry, let's say you're using second entry with the supply zone and then stop loss above. Yeah. So you can see that beautiful entry there. So like I was explaining, for those that always use double entry principle, change of character first. Those that like seeing change of character first, then a break of structure, then the crazy entry. Like just look at this, guys. Just look at this. And when did this happen? 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the morning, and then 8:15 in the morning, you're already done for the day. Like so your stop loss would be here. 5 pips SL sharp, 5 pips SL on GBP Jpy. Sometimes I even use 3 pips SL on GBP USD. So these things are real. I've used 3 pips SL on USD, GBP USD, 3 pips SL on USD Jpy. That one is even regular customer, and BTC. So BTC doesn't use pips. But you can see 75 pips, 43 pips, 5 pips SL, 75 pips TP. Very beautiful trade. And for those that like going crazy, like me, I always use half of the zone, right? Most of the time I use half of the zone to get the best entry. Even if I miss the entry, I'm not really pained. You understand? Because I know if I get another entry, it's going to be crazy. So 2.5 pips SL on GBP Jpy. This is not like exaggeration or anything. Just what could have happened. You understand? So I think I said I caught a sell over here. I closed at last on 90 pips. So, and it was how many pips trade? You can see it's still even there, 5 pips SL. So these things are not lies. You understand? Now let's move to just from the analysis I sent. So if you followed my analysis, followed the entry I used, wow, it even dropped a lot. I didn't even see that. So I was just, following the 3 minutes time frame, whatever. You can see just very small movements, very, very small. Imagine. Let's make it bigger a little bit. So it's moved a lot, moved a lot, did a lot. Yeah, moved crazily, almost 300 pips or so. So if you are type that old like me, so if you are type of that old like me, you'd get almost everything from this trade, right? So let's just be realistic with ourselves and put it there, because definitely if it were me, once I see 70 pips in the market, forget it. I'm done for the day. So then I might close half, I might close, I won't close all my positions definitely, but at least I'm done for the day because major positions would have been closed. Yeah, that's my point. So GBP Jpy again, I'm expecting another selling opportunity, right? Because it's still very bearish and we still want to follow that flow. Remember, it was the 4-hour time frame that gave us the confidence to sell because it gave us multiple break of structures over here, mitigating it, gave us another break of structure, mitigating it, gave us another break of structure, mitigating it again, giving us another break of structure. So definitely we should continue with the flow of orders like that, and this should be our next stop, right? Which is almost happening. So I don't want to look for anything like buys and the likes. Let me just go for the sales ASAP. So let me ignore these inner structures and then focus, okay? Focus on this supply zone. Yes, so that will be all for me on GBP Jpy. I don't even want to look for any counter trend trade buys to waste pips or anything. Understand? So that will be all on GBP Jpy. I'm expecting this on Euro CHF. So if you had followed me or my analysis on GBP, even Euro CHF, Euro CHF, you wouldn't get any loss. GBP Jpy, you would have taken a lot of profits over here. Imagine, look at that crazy drop. Just look at it. Almost 400 pips, almost 500 pips. Now look at Euro USD also. Euro USD. If you might wait for my instruction, like I said, that okay, wait for a break of structure. But if you're the type that uses smaller break of structures like this and not the major ones, you also would have gotten in beautiful profits. This one also dropped 30 pips and then before the initial drop. So that will be all on currency pairs. Let's quickly move to volatility index. I'll just analyze two pairs and then I'll be done because I don't really trade volatility index, only crash, right? Only crash. So let's go to the volatility 75 1S and then volatility 75 index. Ooh, my last week analysis has disappeared again. So for me, like I said, I don't trade them. So when I used to trade them, I don't use multi-time frame analysis. Understand? So there's still a supply zone over here, very valid. Yeah, just like I explained, exactly what I explained on currency. It's mitigated half of this imbalance, giving you a good break of structure. So definitely you might still get an entry here for sales. Yeah, we have a good break of structure here, right? So you can call this an inducement, you can call it whatever you want. So I'm expecting these two zones to hold. I hope my stuff will save. I hope it will save. So next week we'll move from here. Okay. So let's move to volatility 75 index. Yeah, very bearish. Wow. Very, very bearish. So nothing else, just looking for sales, look for sales, and we have a supply zone over here across the break of structure over here. So that is one. We have another one here. So it is inside liquidity. But remember to always use your entry. And then the third one, overall extreme supply zone. Okay. Yeah. So if you'll be setting instant spending orders, make use of extra confluences like liquidity grab, Fibonacci, and the likes. But I wouldn't advise you set instant spending orders. Just wait for it to get to your entry and then wait for your confirmation to take the sale. Yeah, I think that will be all for now. If you want any more information concerning analysis, you can just chat me up. If you also want to join my mentorship, the lifetime mentorship, where you get access to my signals and setups, most of the time setups, because I don't train my students to be signal takers. Did I just say student or children? If I said children, it was a mistake. I don't want my students to be, signal, just be taking signals, give you quality setups and, give you what you need to be prepared for these markets. Okay, I think that will be all for now. If you need more information about that, you can just contact me on WhatsApp, Instagram, or Telegram. Okay, I think that will be all for now. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share to your friends who are Forex traders. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are new to the channel. Okay, expect more beautiful contents like this, and then make sure you turn on your notification icon so you don't miss any beautiful updates like this. This is the voice of TRADEWITHWORLDBANK. We'll see you in the next one. Peace, guys. I'm out.